Welcome to Mixed Media Creations with me, Creative Katie, Karen Burchill. Follow me on Instagram, www.instagram.com/Creative Katie. See what I'm up to before it hits YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video and all others with your creative friends. Today we have Index Card a Day, ICAD number 4. It's entitled Every Flower. This features the techniques that I taught in Mixed Media Technique Tag number 3. I'll put a link to that video. As always, links to the products used in this video can be found in the description box below. Welcome back to Mixed Media Creations. Today we are doing Index Card a Day, ICAD number 4. And that we are going to use Mixed Media Technique tag number 3, which was using paper towel. Now here are the 3 tags that I created in that video, showing different ways to utilize the texture that you get in paper towels. Now this idea came to me because for the longest time, and I still do to some degree, but not as much because I now put so much more of it onto my used paint onto coffee filters, but I used to get all the used paint onto paper towels. So I had a lot of these in my stash. Now, I don't have one that's the color palette that I would like, so I'm going to create it. And to do that, simple paper towel, and I have an assortment of my Inktense blocks. So what I'm going to do is just wet this down. And I kind of want to stay, this time, I'm using some variety, different color schemes and that. I kind of want to go into the yellow, orange, coral and stay in that area. So we need this a little bit wetter. And you're just going to put this on. Now, some paper towels do actually work better, and some have more than one layer, so you might end up having to separate this. Now you could do the same, you could do with your acrylics, you could be pouring acrylic paint onto here as well. Now the Inktense blocks are mostly permanent when they're dry. If they're completely dry, so we seem to be losing a lot of the texture, the dots on this, so I'm not. Now, I'm just going to set these aside and keep them here, and I'm going to dry this, and I'll be back. So as I'm drying, I did come back in and I added just this, it's 610. It's a lovely kind of burgundy color, just a little bit because I wanted it. Now this is separating. So I just want to show you that I'm going to peel off, separate the layers. So now you have two. One might be a little more vibrant, the top layer, but they're both going to be lovely, lovely, lovely. So back. Okay, so we're mostly dry and we've lost some of the vibrancy, but I think when we put the gel medium on that, it's going to pop a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to glue this on the whole background. Now in the mixed media technique tag video, we can cut these into shapes and use it kind of as with a collage item, but this one I'm going to make a quick, easy background in there. So I am simply going to put a good amount. This is what happens when you don't wash your brushes right away or very well. I used to be very, very good at it and meticulous with my brushes, and I've developed some lazy habits, so it's the truth. So you can see you kind of got those crinkles in there and like all that texture that you have. You have the color, the quick color. So this is a quick, easy way. And remember, you don't have to specifically make it for a project. You can, it's quick and easy with intense blocks, with just acrylic paints. Dilutions paints work really well. They on napkins. Now I'm going to grab a brush that's softer because I am afraid that with that one it being so coarse, it's going to actually rip the wet paper towel. So obviously this was a different paper towel than what I've previously used. I think the other one was always Bounty. And I think maybe it was even 3-ply. So you're going to get different textures depending on the brand you use. So you play around and find one that works well for you. So again, we're going to quickly dry that, and then I'm just going to peel back. See, here we have some areas where it just did not adhere, and that always seems to happen. If that's happening to you, you're not doing anything wrong. That's just seemingly normal. So once it's dry, I'm just going to cut around it and I'll be back. Okay, so we're all done, and I'm going to take this and put it in my file folder, and it will be here. I also have the other side, and you know, that will work. What I'm going to do here, I have archival ink in Plum, and I'm just going to edge the sides. You can do this with a burgundy paint. I have a Dilutions pomegranate seed would be the perfect. I'm probably going to come back with black. You know it. We're probably not going to see a whole lot of the sides based on what I'm going to do. Now, I am going to use the quote, "Every flower must grow through dirt." I love that quote. Just like, you know, all of us, we live our lives and we go through hardships and tough times, and that's just like the flower. You have to go through the dirt. You know, there's another quote that says, "Grow through what you grow through." grow through what you go through. Sorry, I love both of those. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do stenciling, and I am going to stencil these flowers. Now I know based on this type of stencil, I don't know if you can see that. This is a plaid stencil, but the flowers are going to stay the color here of the background. So we got to really examine your stencil and decide if you're going to actually get the background color what you want. So because it's covered, right? The stencil material is on top, and that's what's going to remain that color. And everything in between is going to be, and I'm going to use black. So I'm going for deep contrast here. I'm going to grab a makeup sponge. And the key with stenciling is go little by little. When in doubt, you know, if you're having trouble holding the stencil down, you know what? Get some tape. And that will hold it in place a little bit for you. That will help. Going slow with the stenciling. Less paint, more layers. Stamp off like you see me here. And don't press really hard with the makeup sponge. I'm going to come back. I can put several layers. I'm not going to push too much here. Okay, you just need to take the time to do it properly, and you'll be a lot happier. And it doesn't matter if you're using craft paint or Liquitex Basics, such as I am. Build up those layers to get in there. Okay, that stencil's kind of popping up a little bit. This is going to be very, very contrast. There's going to be lots of contrast here. The boldness with black. And I can see some of it is I have not filled in yet, so I'm going to go back. A little bit more paint, stamp it off. If you have an idea of something you want to see me do and make an ICAD on an idea, a theme, a color scheme, use a certain product, if I have that product and if I'm inspired by it. In the end of the day, which is why I don't do all of Daisy Yellow's prompts, sometimes you're just not inspired by it. I will try to fit it in at some point in time. I can't, beyond that I can't make a promise, but I'd like to hear your suggestions. Leave them in the description box. So there we go. Now I'm going to put a link to the video where I show how to clean these stencils in a quick, easy way with it. So now you can see I really need to put black on the edges here to kind of finish. And I'm just using the same black, same makeup sponge. This is a very simple but very effective tag. So we have that. I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and cut these out, cut the quote out, and I'll be back. Okay, so now that I've got this going on and trying to put some of this, I'm thinking that it's a little too plain. So I started going through my stash, and I have these flowers that I could kind of put on top of here. So that one, you know, it's I got that burgundy, which I put in, you know, some in the background, the plum color. Let's just audition some of these other colors. These are things that I found at the dollar store. So, you know, it's kind of like, no, wrong shape of flower. That one kind of goes. You know what, I'm thinking, I'm leaning towards, I like the stem on that one, but I could always take the stem and put it on to that one. Okay, I also have these roses. Depends, what color do you want the contrast? And they also have a little bit of sparkle on them. Put 3, no, wrong shape. Again, wrong shape, wrong, you know. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Decision made. There we go. By putting this on, you also kind of hide if it's not a completely straight edge when you've cut. I think what I'm also going to do here, people are beginning to wonder if I'm even myself because I have not put gold on. So I'm going to do, I've got some gold off to the side. I'm just going to water that down. I'm going to look for my fan brush. Can't find my fan brush, so I'm just going to use my round brush. Odd. Okay, seems to be the right consistency. I don't know that you're gonna and you can just tap with your finger or click it, tap it with another paintbrush if you prefer. Here with this leftover gold. No point in wasting anything. That's just going to make one lovely collage sheet. You know, you may even see this again in show up in another ICAD. Okay, I've just got some matte medium here, which is, you know, similar to gel medium. It's just liquid. It's not gel. And I was trying to color, actually I colored this flower with my Inktense blocks. I was thinking maybe I would put it in there. And then I thought of this other one, so I had it on my craft mat, so. But once I've placed these, I kind of just flip them up and I goop the gel medium or matte medium or Mod Podge underneath. And then on top. Oops. I kind of like having the focal point a little off to the side. That little bit of green there. I like the shimmer, the splatter, it worked out well. Okay, so there we have it, all done. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm thinking I'm going to add something here because I'm looking at it and I don't like how the the words aren't standing out, so I kind of want to make that a little bolder, so I'm going to use my fine liner. You could use a micron pen here if you wish instead. Kind of wobbly today on it, so not exactly getting the best job here. Kind of like the crossed hatch. Okay, actually I like that much better. So, we're done. I'm absolutely loving the colors. Everything about this I'm loving. You can see there's a very fine texture here that you get from the paper towel, but it doesn't scream. I used paper towel. This one, you get way more of that effect. So, you know, again, when you are using the paper towel, different ones will work differently. I'm not sure if this was acrylic paint. That might have had something to do with it. Experiment and see. Make your own set of tags and do it. So, loving this. Index card a day number 4. See you for 5.